So, if you're a fan of the Pokemon franchise and you still enjoy the old Metrovania style traversal, you just might enjoy this. While it mashes two well formulas together without doing anything particularly original, it uses it to great effect. And if you give it a chance, well, you might just find yourself sticking around much longer. Here is my catch-up review for Monster Sanctuary. Welcome to my underrated segment of my catch-up reviews. These are games that get overlooked a lot of times, more on the indie game side than the AAA side, of course. But it's games that has been released in years past, or maybe just a few months ago. I just want people to know about these games, and I will do a lot more of those in the future. So like I said before, it's not like Monster Sanctuary does anything particularly special, but it just finds that sweet spot. Between the traversal and the combat, I never grew tired of it. There's always enough variables to keep you coming back and to keep it from being stale. So let's start off with the combat and explore the way it's similar to Pokemon and also where the changes come. So instead of one-on-one battles in the wild, you go 3-on-3. Well, it all depends on how many monsters you get. From all the monsters you collect, you can have 6 in your party, but you can swap them out in between combat. Just note that only 6 of these monsters level up together, so you'll have to change them up frequently if you want all your monsters to be at the same level. Also, like in Pokemon, each monster has its strengths and weaknesses, you know, whether it's fire, water, plant, all those type of things. It's the same as Pokemon. There is a bit of a difference though. There's also monsters that are weak against physical attacks, and then there are others that are weak against magic. So there's a bit of a change, because some of the monsters have like 4 different types of attacks. So they can have physical moves, they can have magical moves, and then they have 2 environmental moves at the same time. So it's not like one monster is one environmental type. So keep that in mind. When combat starts, you'll see with each monster the weaknesses are at the top, and then you find the resistance in the middle, and then their attack abilities are at the bottom. What makes this cool is that you can pick the monsters before the battle starts. You're not forced to go in with the same one you picked last time. Just make sure that you have a lot of variety in your party. This game really stresses not only attack, but it relies heavily on defensive abilities and also healing abilities. So in my party most of the time, I start off with one tank. It's a monster that has a lot of health that can also shield the rest of the party. And then secondly, I have a healer, but at the moments that he doesn't have to heal, he can attack as well. So he has a lot of attacking variety. And then thirdly, I have my all-out attack monster. So it's very important to have that balance. And especially when leveling up your monsters, it's important to look at their skill trees. And you want to know where you're going with this monster. Is he going to be on defense? Is he going to be on healing duty? Or is he going to be attackers? So all the monsters you gather along the way, you'll see what their weaknesses are. And then also from there on, you can choose how you want to level them up. Another thing when leveling up your monsters is that you can see within their skill trees, all of them have buffs that you can equip. So all of these buffs are things that you do at the start of the combat, because the buffs aren't active for only one round. It will be there for the entire battle. So set yourself up defensively, make sure your monsters has a lot of health and a lot of shields, and then you can attack from there. It will be very important, especially getting further into the game when all the monsters are at higher levels. So in between combat, you can open up the menu screen, and then you'll see on the left hand side are your list of monsters. Then to the right of them, you can see at the top is their attack strength, then their magic, then their defense, then their health, and the mana is at the bottom. So again, it's just finding the right balance that's key to success. Then adding to this is they brought in RPG elements, so you can actually equip weapons to your monsters, also accessories like rings, armor, all that type of things. These will increase your mana regeneration, critical chance, critical damage, and then damage reduction, those type of things. So always keep an eye what type of equipment is added to your monster. Make sure to check in on your inventory. There's always something new because of the monsters dropping it. So yeah, I was very impressed with the RPG elements that they brought into this game. So moving around the map, it starts off quite simple. There are only a certain amount of places you can go at the start, but as you gather more monsters, they have the ability to unlock new places to go into the map. My starting monster can fly me up to higher places where you can't jump to at the start, so that can help. Then I have like a plant creature that can throw a rock onto a tile that also opens up other gates you can go to. And then also I have a monster that can run very fast. So there's a certain section where there are tiles collapsing under you. When I found this monster, I could finally cross the bridge because you can't fly that far. The map is quite big. There's no hand holding here. Once the game starts to open up, you're going to have to figure things out for yourself. And you also want to listen to what the NPCs tell you. They give you all the information you need. But also there are places where you can fast travel. There are these little flamey things that you find throughout the map. So you can instantly teleport from the one to the other. So then you don't have to do all that backtracking all the time. It might frustrate you at times because you can't go to a certain place at a certain time. But just be patient. The more monsters you get, you'll figure out what their abilities are outside of combat. In Pokemon you'll obviously call them HMs. But these are there. The map will open up for you the more monsters you collect. Now let's go a bit into the story. I'm pretty sure this is not the reason that you will keep playing. But it is there. So basically you play the role of a keeper. The keepers are basically the trainers from Pokemon. You start off with a spectral familiar. Mine is this phoenix creature. You can choose between 4. The other 3 will go to other keepers that you'll meet in your journey. These are NPCs that you'll meet. They play different roles in the story. The antagonists are called alchemists. They don't believe in monster training. So basically they want to stop people from taming these monsters. They only believe like in technology and all that type of stuff. And I think really exciting. I do know that they do have lore. You can also look in the menu. There is a monster journal that gives you a full bio of all the monsters. So have a look, see if you find that interesting. But I know for me, the story didn't really do much. The combat and the traversing definitely is the game's strongest suit. So that's basically my review of Monster Sanctuary. I know my last review was basically a year ago. Apologies for that. I just acquired a day job and I had to rearrange a few things. But this year I'm back. There's going to be a lot more reviews like this. I look forward to chatting with you again in the future. But until then, laugh, party, play. Bye guys.